I call this meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. There's no closed session report. Anthony, would you like to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please.
Heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Here.
Councilmember Lister?
Here.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Judge?
Here.
Mayor Thomas?
Here. Are there any items for agenda review? Seeing none.
Mr. Mayor, I move that all resolutions and ordinances presented tonight be read in title only and all further reading be waived.
Second.
Call for a vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
If any member of the city council may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should declare so at this time. Seeing none.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the first item on the agenda is item 1D1, presentation of a certificate of appreciation to the outgoing Commissioner of the Area Housing Authority of the County of Ventura Board of Commissioners, and Management Analyst Danielle Franco is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas and members of the City Council. This evening, we are recognizing Deborah Lane, who will be concluding her service on the Area Housing Authority of the County of Ventura Board of Commissioners on December 10th, 2023. Through a citywide competitive recruitment process, the City Council appointed Ms. Lane to the Board of Commissioners representing the City of Simi Valley on October 11th, 2021 to fill a partial term. Throughout her term, Ms. Lane was entrusted with policymaking, allocation of public funds, and general oversight responsibilities in the creation and protection of affordable and workforce housing for our residents. Ms. Lane is in attendance tonight to receive her certificate of appreciation from the city in acknowledgement of the time and leadership she has contributed to our community.
I just wanted to say thank you for the time and commitment you made to help us out. I appreciate it very much. All right, good.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D2, presentation of a proclamation declaring November 25, 2023 as Small Business Saturday, and Assistant City Manager Linda Swan is here to present this item, and receiving the proclamation are representatives from the Simi Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas and City Council. I'd like to ask Kathy Van Etten and her staff to come on down to the dais, please. There we go. Whereas the City of Simi Valley celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community, and whereas 96% of customers who shop on Small Business Saturday agree that shopping at small, independently owned business supports their commitment to making purchases that have a positive social, economic, and environmental impact, and 97% of consumers who shop on Small Business Saturday agree that small businesses are essential to their community. And whereas 95% of consumers who shop on Small Business Saturday report the day makes them want to shop or eat at small, independently owned businesses all year long, not just during the holiday season. And whereas the City of Simi Valley supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities. Now, therefore, November 25th, 2023 is hereby proclaimed Small Business Saturday to urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants throughout the year, presented this 13th day of November 2023.
Well, small business is the heart of the community, and I appreciate all the work the chamber does in supporting those small businesses. All right, thank you.
Well, we are so grateful for this proclamation, and we invite everybody. We are doing our Fa La 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 Local campaign. It starts on November 24th, which is the day before Small Business Saturday. Save your receipts, bring them to the chamber on December 17th and 18th, and you may win $1,000. We really want our residents to know how important it is to our businesses that you shop local. Anywhere you shop, if you spend anywhere on a service, plumbers, anything, stay and see me and keep your money here rather than going online, because our businesses are super important to our economy. So.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D3, presentation of a proclamation declaring the month of November 2023 as Filipino American History Month, and Assistant City Manager Linda Swan will present this item as well.
Good evening again, Mayor Thomas and City Council. I'd like to invite down Joe Esmeralda and the members of St. Peter Claver Church, please, to come down to the dais.
We're gonna have a big group here. Welcome. Welcome. I think I met most of you at the 30th anniversary. How do you do? Hi there. It was quite a party, that 30th anniversary. You guys know how to party. Welcome. Good to have you guys here. Hi there. Hi. I'm doing fantastic. Welcome. Hi there. How do you do? Thanks for being here. Oh. Hi there. How are you? All right. Everybody come on in here. Who would like to hold this? Yeah. There's your president.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start reading the proclamation. Whereas, go ahead. Whereas the first documented landing of Filipinos in the continental United States was recorded over 430 years ago on October 18, 1587, in what is now known as Morro Bay, California. And whereas Filipinos are the second largest Asian American community in the United States with approximately 3.1 million people, and the third largest ethnic group in California after Latinos and African Americans. And whereas the Filipino American community has an unwavering faith in the promise of America and the potential offered to her people. And whereas Filipino American servicemen and women have a long-standing history in the armed forces from the Civil War to the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, including the 25,000 Filipinos who fought under the United States flag during World War II to protect and defend this country. And whereas Filipino Americans have received the Congressional Medal of Honor, the highest award for valor in action against an enemy force that can be bestowed upon an individual serving in the United States Armed Forces. And whereas Filipino Americans are an integral part of the United States healthcare system as nurses, doctors, and other medical professions. And whereas the City of Simi Valley expresses its gratitude to our Filipino American residents for sharing their rich culture, their traditions, and history, and for making our community more vibrant. Now, therefore, the month of November 2023 is hereby proclaimed Filipino American History Month in the City of Simi Valley in honor of the immeasurable contributions of the Filipino Americans that enrich our community, presented this 13th day of November 2023.
Well, congratulations, and I got to tell you, I met this group of individuals because I got invited to their 30th anniversary, and it was the nicest group of people that I think I've ever met, and one of the best parties I've ever been to. Who would like to speak?
I'll say a few words. Thank you very much for your proclamation of the Filipino American Day month for this year, I would like to thank our mayor, Fred Thomas, members of the city council, Didi, Elaine, our mayor pro temp, Rocky. Thank you so much for, and we're so proud to be a part of Simi Valley, and we will continue to be a part of it. So I'll let our president say a few words.
Few words. It's not actually a few words because it's not actually a few words. I prepared a speech. I'm sorry. Good evening, Honorable Fred Thomas and esteemed council members of the city of Simi Valley, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly honored and deeply grateful to stand before you to express my heartfelt thanks for this remarkable recognition. On behalf of the Filipino community of our parish and of Simi Valley, I extend my sincere gratitude to Mayor Fred Thomas for his visionary dedication and leadership to making our city a better place. To the esteemed city councilors, thank you for your support, your commitment to public service and tireless work for the betterment of our city. This honor wouldn't be possible without your collective efforts. I am humbled to be a part of a community that values collaboration, innovation, and progress. I would also like to express my appreciation to the members of FCCG, the Filipino Catholic Community Group, who have been instrumental in the initiatives we have undertaken together. This recognition is a reflection of the collective spirit of our community. Once again, thank you, Mayor Fred Thomas, and the City Council of Simi Valley. Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3A1, adoption of a resolution for the appointment of Commissioner to the Area Housing Authority of the County of Board of Commissioners. The reading of the resolution is as follows. Resolution number 2023-46, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley for the appointment of Tracy Bodis as Commissioner to the Area Housing Authority of the County of Ventura Board of Commissioners to fill an upcoming vacancy with the term concluding December 31, 2027. And Management Analyst Daniel Franco will present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas and members of the City Council. Again, the Area Housing Authority represents 7 jurisdictions in Ventura County, including Simi Valley. It is governed by a Board of Commissioners appointed by the jurisdictions it serves. One of the city's 2 commissioners' term concludes on December 10th, 2023. At the October 9th, 2023 City Council meeting, Mayor Pro Tem Mike Judge and City Council Member Rocky Rhodes were appointed by the City Council to conduct interviews and nominate a prospective commissioner for appointment. On October 23rd, 2023, 13 applicants were interviewed and Tracy Bodis was nominated for appointment. Therefore, it is recommended that the City Council adopt a resolution appointing Tracy Bodis to the Area Housing Authority of the County of Ventura Board of Commissioners to fill an upcoming vacancy with the term commencing on December 11th, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2027. This concludes the presentation. Staff is available for questions. And Ms. Bodis is in attendance tonight.
I move that the mayor
Thank-
appoint and the city council approves Mary's appointment.
Second.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for your willingness to invest your time to help our community. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, for the record, there were no public statements for appointments, special presentations, or informational reports this evening.
Mr. Mayor, I have two comments, if I could, on our things. First, for Filipino Month, I had the opportunity this year to spend just over 2 weeks in the Philippines teaching, and the people there are warm and welcoming, and nothing has changed for the Filipino Americans here, warm and welcoming, and I just appreciate all of you so much for being a part of this city. You make us great. And it should be noted that the interviews for the appointment to the Area Housing Authority was steep. It was a deep pool of very, very talented people, so we're extremely grateful to have you, and you're going to do a great job.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3B1, presentation of the 2022-2023 Community Health Needs Assessment through the Ventura County Community Health Improvement Collaborative, part of Adventist Health Simi Valley, by Director of Public Health Nursing Salida Dabrowski and epidemiologist Monisha Jeet.
Good evening, council members, city manager, mayor. My name is Salida Dabrowski. I'm the Director of Public Health Nursing for Ventura County Public Health. I am also the chair for the Ventura County Community Health Improvement Collaborative. And I would like to turn it over to Lisa to introduce herself.
Hi, good evening. Lisa Hemingway, Director of Community Wellbeing for Adventist Health Simi Valley. And I just want to introduce ourselves, and we're very proud to be part of this collaborative.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Monisha, and I am the epidemiologist at Ventura County Public Health.
Okay, next slide, please. Is it up here? Oh, she has it. Perfect. Technology. I will start, while we're waiting for that, I will start by saying the Ventura County Community Health Improvement Collaborative is made up of 9 founding members, of which Adventist Health is a strong partner. Okay, no problem. No problem. So the collaborative is, like I said, made up of 9 different agencies, founding members, if you will. These are the founding members with a mission of looking to see how can we improve the health and well-being of all of our Ventura County residents through a multi-agency, multi-system collaborative. So I believe last year Aaron Slack was here to present with Catherine Stiles. So we wanted to do an update for you this year, talk a little bit about our community health implementation strategy, and then give you a little hint into our community health needs assessment process for 2025.
So as we surveyed the community, we wanted to ensure that we had survey responses that were inclusive of all respondents in Ventura County. So for that reason, we had focus groups of different types of groups, whether it's demographic or background, to ensure that we had as many responses as possible. And just to go into the demographics of the survey respondents, we had all age groups represented in the survey. We had about 3,100 responses, and the survey was conducted the fall of 21 going into early 2022. Different gender identities, ethnicity as well. And then also marital status, education, Language, the survey was available in English and in Spanish. Military status, disability, as well as different insurance status as well. So before I go into the data, I just wanted to give you a preview of the priority health areas that we found throughout the survey. The top one was mental health and substance abuse across the lifespan. The second one was the prevention of chronic conditions by promoting healthier lifestyles. And the third one is advancing equitable access to healthcare. So for the first question, we asked, what are the most important health problems in the community? And an overwhelming majority indicated that mental health problems, which includes trauma, depression, bipolar, was the most important health problem in the community. And they were able to select multiple answers, which is why you see other answers below as well. And secondly, when asked what are the most risky behaviors in our community, drug abuse was also overwhelmingly number one. And I forgot to mention for the first slide, when looking at Simi Valley residents, those were also the top responses that they gave us. And so for this question as well, Simi Valley residents, the majority of Simi Valley residents that we surveyed indicated that drug abuse was the most important risky behavior in our community. Going back to the mental health as well, so if you look at the first pie chart, the red area, 23% of respondents needed mental health care but did not receive the care that they needed. And looking at the second pie chart, as it relates to other healthcare services that are non-mental health, 22% needed care but did not receive the care that they needed, which also relates to advancing equitable access to healthcare in the community as well. So reasons why individuals were not able to receive the care that they needed. First was cost. It was too expensive, insurance did not cover it, or because of COVID-19, the survey was conducted fall of 21, so many providers were still doing telehealth only or closed due to COVID-19, or they were not able to develop a special relationship with that provider. For other healthcare services, same reasons. Either they were limited access or closed due to COVID-19, it was too expensive or they were unable to pay, or the timing of services was not convenient, which means if they needed a specialist or a doctor's appointment, they were not available for a few months.
Can I just ask a quick question? Sorry to interrupt. With mental health services, are you including addiction and mental health issues from that as well? Is that
Yes.
part of the mental health component?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then when asked, which of the following would you like to see addressed in the community? High healthcare costs was number one as well, and this relates to advancing equitable access to care across the community. When looking at Simi Valley residents, that was also number one, but second was environmental exposures from Simi Valley residents, so pesticides, smoke. When asked what makes a healthy community, access to healthcare was number one, which means having a regular doctor, adequate insurance coverage. And when looking at Simi Valley residents, that was number one as well. But second was having access to organizations which provide community services, such as food banks and shelters. These are the leading causes of death, both at the local level, the state level, and nationwide. Number one and number two across the board are heart diseases and cancers. This relates to prevention of chronic diseases by promoting healthier lifestyles. Many heart conditions and cancers can be improved or even prevented by improved screening and developing healthier habits as well. So again, these are the prioritized health issues, addressing mental health and substance abuse across the lifespan, prevention of chronic conditions by promoting healthier lifestyles, and advancing equitable access to healthcare. So you may be wondering what we are doing about that. So we actually have a community health improvement strategy. It is a booklet, and we worked with the 9 organizations that Salita mentioned earlier. And we have essentially a toolkit where we meet with each organization one-on-one to see how they are progressing in terms of the implementation strategy. And the full document can also be found on Health Matters and VC.org, where we outline what each organization is doing in order to address those 3 priority health needs. And again, for more information, Health Matters in VC, that's where we have local health indicator data, as well as the full community health needs assessment, as well as a community health implementation strategy, which addresses what we are doing about the issues in our community. And that is all I have. Any questions?
I did just want to mention as well, each of you were given a copy of the Community Health Needs Assessment. We also have some in the lobby, as well as the one for Adventist Health. This one was specific to Adventist Health in partnership with the work that we're doing in the Community Health Needs Assessment. And one thing we'd just like to ask all of you is to support as we start our Community Health Needs Assessment process. We will start at the end of 2024, moving into 2025. We would love to see more respondents from the city of Simi Valley. We want more representation across the county, and so we ask that all of you would encourage residents. You yourselves would also complete that Community Health Needs Assessment survey once it goes out. And we have time for questions, maybe if you have any.
Councilmember Litzler?
I do have a question for you, and you may have said I missed it this first. I'm sorry. It was a sizable number of respondents, as I recall at the
There
beginning.
were over 3,100 respondents, and of those, approximately 120 were from Simi Valley.
So only 120 were from
Correct.
Simi Valley. Okay, so we could do a little bit better in our participation. Okay, thank you. I'll make. And you're saying that the next opportunity to participate will be the end
Next
of
fall, we will be
fall of
developing and
2004.
distributing the survey.
Very good. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Judge?
I just wanted to say thank you to Adventist Health, because I heard today in our Council on Aging meeting, you guys are an outstanding supporter of the Senior Center and the Council on Aging over there, and I really appreciate that. I want to thank Adventist for all you do for them. Thank you very much.
Very happy to have them on board, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3C1, informational presentation by Youth Council Member Nandiya Krishnamurthy.
Good evening, Mayor Tom, distinguished members of the City Council. Thank you for all your continued support for the work that the Simi Valley Youth Council does. My name is Nandiya Krishnamurthy. I'm a sophomore at Simi Valley High School, and this is my second year on Youth Council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight on behalf of all the very hardworking members whom I work alongside to solve the growing matters that involve the youth in our community. Within the last 2 weeks, the Youth Council has been a part of 3 very successful events here in Simi Valley. First being the Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District's annual Heritage Halloween and Movie in the Park event, which was held at the Strathern Historical Park on October 21st. For people who didn't attend, the event consisted of carnival games, trick-or-treating, a magic show, and watching the animated movie The Mummies. This year, the members of Youth Council, all of course who were dressed up in costume, participated by handing out candy to more than 900 dressed-up trick-or-treaters. Through this event, Youth Council members were able to join a fun community-held event, which also jump-started the celebration of Halloween. The second event that the Youth Council attended was the annual City Expo. Not only did we have our own booth where we coordinated our bullying prevention campaign by asking attendees to sign our Stop Bullying pledge banner, we also helped volunteer in the environmental conservation booth. Along with the pledge banner in our youth services booth, we also had a fun spin the wheel game, which contained questions regarding employment services to inform people on the youth employment laws, as well as best practices relating to getting a job. In the environmental conservation booth, Youth Council members were able to inform people on the many different ways to conserve water. The booth had many tools that can be used for conserving water that Youth Council members handed out, including a bucket, a fish and water hose nozzles, and a few other great conservation giveaways. Youth Council members also helped people participate in a fun game of spin the wheel, similar to the one in the youth services booth. Only difference was that the questions were related to approaches for water conservation. During this time, individual Youth Council members were all given the extraordinary opportunity to wear the water conservation mascot costume and walk through the street fair to spread the message for water conservation. The third event was the city's annual volunteer fair, coordinated by the Youth Employment Service. We had a table for outreach where we spoke to attendees about Youth Council, recruitment for the 2024 to 2025 term, as well as handing out prevention resources. We also oversaw the multiple service projects that took place during the event, including decorating festive placemats to be given to seniors participating in the Meals on Wheels program, making cards and letters for at-risk youth at Casa Pacifica, veterans stationed overseas, and homebound seniors, along with making fun bookmarks that will be given to students at Title I schools. During our meeting last week, we voted on our recommendations of Youth Town Hall panelists to give to the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute's education team. Once the potential panelists have been vetted, the education team will invite them to participate. As I come to a close, I would like to ask everyone to follow the Simi Valley Youth Council on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Simi Valley Youth Council. Once again, I would like to thank Mayor Thomas and the City Council for inviting me to speak tonight. We are all so thankful for the never-ending support you have all provided for the Youth Council. At this time, I will ask if there are any questions or comments, which I would be happy to answer.
Councilmember Lister.
Thank you. I do have a question. I was at Street Fair, but I missed it. Did you wear the water conservation mascot costume?
I was not one of them who wore the
And what does it look like? I didn't know that existed.
It was like a raindrop.
Big raindrop.
Yeah, that was like blue, and it had like eyes and a mouth on it that many youth council members wore, and then they walked across the street fair to promote our campaign of water conservation.
Excellent. I missed that. Well, and I was intrigued. You helped pass out to 900 children at Strathern. That's a lot of kids. Did you have to provide the candy, or did someone else? Yes. So all your fundraising has been to help make other kids happy. That was, well, thank you. That's going above and beyond in many ways. But thank you for all that the Youth Council is doing, and thank you for your wonderful report.
Thank you for all the support you've provided to the Youth Council.
We appreciate you.
Thank you again. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate the job you guys do.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 4, public statements. Since there are no public hearings under agenda item 5 this evening, agenda items 4 and 6 are combined, and the City Council will hear all public statements under this agenda item 4. Agenda item number 4 and 6 are times allotted for public statements on all items other than public hearings, appointments, and informational reports. Speakers will be called on in the order in which their card was submitted to speak for this public statements item 4 for a period of no more than 3 minutes each. Persons addressing the City Council are requested to state their name and community of residence for the record. Mr. Mayor, unless you have any comments, we can begin public statements.
Please proceed.
Thank you. The first speaker is Matt Doros.
Well, I feel like I've been here before. But here's the deal. I know you guys are about to close the gap on the never-ending motorhome situation. So I came here tonight to reiterate that there's a safety issue I've spoken about before with a handful of motorhomes in the city that hang out and block line of sight because of a physical bend in the roadway or some other physical anomaly that prevents people from being able to see beyond the stored motorhome. The most serious part of the problem is that it's blocking pedestrian right-of-way or pedestrian line of sight and visibility to the extent that people could become injured. September 29th, 19th of last year, I did speak about it to some degree, and I believe I spoke about it sometime earlier this year. Okay, so back to the other background. In January of 2020, the City Planning Commission reviewed the motorhome issue at a public meeting and came to the conclusion that this practice is clearly an obvious safety hazard. At that meeting, the planners formed a subcommittee to study the problem. Unfortunately, the COVID sidelined the entire thing, and we kind of got back to square one. Now we're in 2023, and I've spoken at a couple of meetings. I feel that it's very clearly an issue that needs to be resolved to the extent that there's no more risk. Just bear with me. I passed out a couple of photographs which really indicate the degree of the bend in the road where I am. There's probably 5 or 6 in the city that I know of. This is not a very common issue, but it can happen. As one other concern I have is that as we now open up people's motorhomes to park on alternate locations on the property, this situation could occur in other places. There's no reason for the city to to permit the risky and unnecessary liability. Please, I know it's going to be on the meeting agenda next week, and I hope you guys can finally knock it out one way or another. If you end up doing something about it, in fairness to the motorhome owners who are relocated, perhaps the city can come up with a plan to assist them in relocating their motorhome fairly and easily. Hey, thank you.
Judy Mayer.
I have pictures to share. Is that okay? Well, beach. Thank you. Okay, so I forgot how this works. Do I just start talking? Okay. I know we're all concerned about fire, and it came very close a couple of years ago to see me. I remember a friend of mine was hosing down the area around her home at Wood Ranch. Well, one thing about fire is that most of the fires don't start right here. They start far away, and embers can fly for many miles. In fact, I don't know if you saw this article in the Acorn this week. They gave me the number. According to estimates from CAL FIRE, 60 to 70% of structural losses in fires are attributed to flying embers. And so I'm here to talk about a hazard in Simi that's all over the city. It's palm trees with dead leaves. Those palm trees have, those leaves has oils in them that are highly flammable. And if an ember gets to a tree like that, it just goes up like that, and then like a sparkler, and all the embers flitter away. And I brought some pictures. Maybe you saw the email I sent you guys. I don't know. Nice to meet you, Mayor Thomas. I haven't met you, but I've met a lot of the other people. And I talked to a number of people. I don't know if Stratus is still here. Oh, he is. Thanks. I talked to Mara of Environmental Services. She and Jordan of Fire Station 44. And I talked to Officer Edwards of Code Enforcement, and also to Ventura Fire Safe, Ventura Fire Safe organization. They all said I can't do anything because if you see the picture of the trees behind my neighbor's area, you'll see it's a grove of neglected trees, and he's just it's all dead leaves. And I had an inspection, a voluntary inspection from Ventura Fire Safe, just to see what I could do to help my home. And he said the worst hazard is your neighbor and all those palm trees with the dead leaves. So these trees all over. I have pictures there just in my neighborhood. There's one corner a couple blocks from me, 3 trees. The next corner, next catty corner from him is 2 trees. And I shudder every time I go on Royal near Cordo. That's really bad. They're all over. The city does a great job of removing dead leaves, and about 2/3 of the city residents do a great job. It's the 1/3, okay? And when I'm proposing, and Mayor Pro Tem Judge suggested I make sure I come, and also Officer Edwards from Code Enforcement said, don't just write a letter, come in and please ask for a code enforcement, a new code for fire safe for palm trees, please. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? I have more time.
Can't respond right now.
Oh, okay. I haven't been here in a while. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, that was the last speaker. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 4A, City Council comments regarding public statements.
Councilmember Litster?
I didn't even push my button yet,
Oh,
but you
what's at
knew
the
I was
top?
going to. Oh, no, that's great. I was reaching for it. That's all right. I will take it. Actually, it's thank you, Judy, for your concerns and what you've shared with us. You know, as you were speaking, I thought, I don't know that we can, I mean, well, your encouragement is potentially an ordinance of some type. My first thought was maybe what we really need is a really good education campaign started right now, and that could be more immediate. And so I'm hopeful that there might be some consideration of doing that immediately, because certainly I hear your concerns, absolutely. And Matt, thank you for, we've missed you. Thank you for coming back and sharing again your photos. I agree they are concerning when I'm sure it feels like a wall next to you and difficult to see around. And I know we've had conversations in the past that it supposedly when the engineers have looked at line of sight is still visible, but I'm sure that we can talk more about this as we consider the ordinance when we come back in December. So again, thank you for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Doros, I've walked your neighborhood, and I wanted you to know that in all of the discussions, your issue is top of mind as we're discussing the ordinances and where and how to park RVs and/or toys in the front yard, and you've kept it top of mind as you should, and we're trying to figure out that way, but. Yeah, so thank you for all you do in bringing this up. And Ms. Mayor, you've done everything exactly as I would hope you would do, which is send letters, come speak, talk to the appropriate folks, and so on. And then we will see what it is, what's actually possible and doable, and what creativity we can apply towards it. But thank you for coming down here and speaking.
And I would like to thank both of you for caring enough about our city to actually take your time to come down here and speak on behalf of what you think will make this a better city to all of us. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 7, the consent calendar, and there are no resolutions for your consideration this evening.
I'm not going to pull an item. I just want you to know that. This is, there's some history here, just so you know that. Occasionally, I will pull an item for discussion.
I was watching to
But I'm
see.
not doing it this time. I just want you to know. But and for those who don't have the agenda in front of you, the consent calendar is basically items that are contracts that we want to approve that we've reviewed that are just general contracts that make things better. So I am not going to pull any items.
Okay.
I was waiting to make sure.
We have a second call for a vote.
The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 10A, City Council member reports.
Already? Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Short week from last meeting to this. On Wednesday, November 8th, I had a meeting with Tom Means, council member from Moore Park. If our cities are going to do great things together, we need to build those relationships. And so I had a great meeting just getting to know Mr. Means, and I encourage you all to do so. He's a great thinker and a great guy. Also that day, I attended the VICA annual local office holders luncheon. Unfortunately, the luncheon wasn't that day, so I was just standing at the Skirball Center by myself. So, and I didn't get to go on Thursday because on Thursday, I traveled north to visit my father for Veterans Day. He's a World War II vet, 98 years young, and it was great to spend the weekend with him. And Mr. Mayor, that is the end of my report.
Councilmember Lidster.
Thank you, and I'm sorry that you were left standing there, Councilmember Rhodes. Tuesday was Election Day, and we didn't have that so much in our for us to participate with, but I'm grateful for the freedoms that allow that to happen in this country. Wednesday, November the 8th, well, actually, I was going to, well, I, since Lisa Hemingway's here, I wanted to say, I actually visited someone at Venice Hospital, and in fact, it's happened 2 different people this week, and I was so impressed with the positive nursing staff. I was also there at the emergency room at 4 in the morning once this week. The guard there who was so helpful, the middle of the night emergency crew, I mean, really, just outstanding people were there at the hospital. And so it just, please do. It just, 2 different occurrences, different people. It just, reiterated to me, my mind, what a jewel we have with a wonderful hospital in our community. Please, thank you. Thursday, I attended the VCOG board meeting, chaired that meeting in Camarillo. It's the last one that will be in Camarillo for the year. We actually there were a couple items that came out of that meeting. First, the group agreed to send a letter to the proper officials to basically in support of what Mayor McNamee from Thousand Oaks has desired, which is a letter that speaks to the problems with the Chilean tourist gangs and some of the theft of crime gangs that have been coming into his area and into our area, and just to write letter of support that basically goes through with, that was the one country that heretofore has not allowed or shared the criminal records, et cetera, when going through the visa or the visa process just to come as a tourist. That has since changed, but there needs to be enforcement now. So anyway, we agreed to write a letter of support for that, since safety, of course, affects our entire community. But we also had Patrick Maynard, the Emergency Services Director of Ventura County, Patrick Maynard, speak to us. And it was interesting to meet him in person. I don't know if you remember the COVID conversations. Once a week, he would speak on the telephone to us. It was good to actually meet him in person. But he truly has our security and safety at heart, and is always thinking of ways to make things more safe and to prepare for emergencies in our county. Afterwards, I had the opportunity to speak with him privately, and he spoke so highly of Simi Valley's emergency services manager, Eileen Connors, and that was unsolicited, I might add. He spoke very highly of her, so I just wanted to pass that along. But a couple things that he shared. He shared the website, which shows that they keep of PSPS events in real time that are very, and I tried to find it again. I will get that. You probably know it, Brian, don't you? Is that it? I looked at it, didn't quite look like what he was showing us again, but is that why I couldn't get to work? Okay, so I'm grateful there's no PSPS events going on right now. That's why I couldn't get to work just half an hour ago as I was checking it. But anyway, really a great resource because it shows in real time exactly where things are, what the status is on PSPS events in the county. The other thing he shared that I was not aware of is that during COVID, when they in other emergencies like the Thomas fires, et cetera, they often rely upon the Red Cross to provide the evacuation facilities and a place to house and cots, et cetera. And they realize that that is a volunteer organization, that they're dependent upon volunteers, et cetera. But that one of the things they realized is that they should have their own supply of emergency equipment. So somewhere, not publicly disclosed, but somewhere in Camarillo, there is a 45,000 square foot warehouse of outstanding tents and cots and water supply and basically emergency supplies that can help in any emergency. And we are welcome to tap into that if we have any such need. And I was gratified to learn that that exists in our county. So that was very interesting. Scheduled on that date, which I wasn't able to attend, was the grand opening of Tacos 805. However, I understand I was able to sneak into the city the next morning and find the certificate and go and present it to them the next day. And I will tell you that we have a Tacos 805 is there on East Los Angeles, across from Stater Brothers. Wonderful little restaurant that just opened up. It's 2 or 3 weeks old. Great food. I went in there, gave me the certificate, and they gave me the friends and family discount. Told them they didn't need to do that, but anyway, very fun place. I could see, and I wish them the best and hope that they are successful. Oh wait, are you going to report that? Uh-oh. Anyway, okay, on Friday, it was Veterans Day observed. Saturday was actually Veterans Day, of course, and it was so good to be at the wonderful Veterans Day ceremony that was put on by Rancho Simi Recreation Park District. I always look at Dee Dee because she can help me make sure I say it correctly. But it was beautifully done, and it was what was lovely too is that they recognized several people, and they were specifically focusing on the new 6th branch of the military and the Space Force, and so they basically have reformulated that area. So there's now a flag. They raised the flag for the first time for the Space Force that was there and played. They had a band that played their song, and it was just a lovely event. It was just wonderful to have that in our community, and so it was good to be there with my colleagues. Later that evening, I also attended the VIP sponsors reception for this is the final gathering for the 150-year celebration of the Ventura County life. What is this? 150 county years celebration of 150 years of existence, and this was their final celebration. I was basically there representing the city. And so thank you to the city for their financial support of this event. And I met several residents there who anonymously have supported funds for this event as well. And it makes me feel good to know that there's so many doing so many things to honor this wonderful community and do so anonymously. But it was a lovely event held in Thousand Oaks at the Kavli Theater, and they even had John Pappas, the comedian, spoke afterwards. It was, anyway, just a very, very fun event and good to be there. One final thing I might mention, today I also attended the Council on Aging with Mayor Pro Tem Mike Judge, and they're doing great things. I thought I should share just some of the upcoming events that they shared to remind people of. Coming up, of course, is their Friendsgiving lunch, which is November 16th, so that's coming up this Thursday. And then on November 22nd is the Thanksgiving Eve dinner, which I believe the Kiwanis are helping. Or is it Rotary Club? Rotary. It's Rotary. I'm sorry. I got to get the right organization. I apologize. Rotary, which has been wonderful to put that on. They mentioned that tickets sold out. Now, granted, it's a free event, but tickets sold out and were dispersed within 2 hours. There's that much of a need and enjoyment of that special event, and so thank you for the Rotary Club for making that possible. A couple other things coming up: New Year's celebration dance on December 29th. Tickets are available, and one of the things they wanted to be sure that all of us here on this dais are invited to and will plan to attend is their special Council on Aging 50th anniversary event, which is being held January 31st, 2024 from 2 to 4 at the Senior Center. And again, that's where, as Mayor Pro Tem Judge mentioned, they were so grateful for Venice Health's support of that. But that's their first big event, and we hopefully can all be there to celebrate and support their efforts. And so that concludes my report tonight.
I'm going to slip back to Councilmember Rhodes. I think you forgot something, didn't you?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one announcement of an event coming up that tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 14th at 6 p.m. at the Simi Town Center. Simi Valley is an international city of peace, and they're going to hold a candlelight vigil up at Center Court. Bring a candle, should be last no more than an hour. And the International City of Peace is an organization developed and supported by Simi Sunrise Rotary and includes members of Kiwanis and the Seroptimus. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Luckily, it's only 1 week, so it won't be too long. Wednesday, November 8th, I had lunch with our the EDC's attorney, Nancy Schreiner. We did some final touch-ups on the CEO's contract renewal, and then we're able to visit a little bit, so that was very nice. Thursday, November 9th, it was my birthday, and you know what I went and did? I went and got my flu shot. So everyone was laughing at me going, you got your flu shot on your birthday? Well, you know, I had a doctor's appointment, so I might as well get a flu shot. So everyone get your flu shot. It didn't hurt at all. It was great. Then I spent the evening at Toppers, a local, with my mom and grandsons. They enjoyed it. On Friday, November 10th, yes, Veterans Day was observed, but for once, the banks were open and everyone else was closed. Usually I have the day off and nobody else does. That was kind of backwards for me, but the traffic was nice. I got to work in 20 minutes. So that was really pretty good. So, but we were able to celebrate Veterans Day on the 11th. Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District, again, did a wonderful job. This year's theme was Space Force, which is kind of different for us to now have 6 branches. And one of their designer, Tom Evans, he was so proud of himself because they did not have a stanchion or a base for the 6th flag, because when it was designed, there were only 5. So he goes, I finished it a week ago. So by the hair on his head, he got that done in time for Veterans Day. So he was very, very happy about that. And then just a personal funny thing. So if anyone was up at the mall on Friday night, the 10th, at Go Fish, we had a nice young lady, local lady, Lacey May, was singing and entertaining. Well, she also babysits my grandsons. And so the 4-year-old got up on her seat and sang the ABC song. To a round of applause, and he even got tips. So Simi Valley is very family-oriented and loves entertainment. So I saw a video of it, but I was like, oh my gosh, how funny. And just a final reminder, December 12th or December 2nd, I keep throwing that out there, is Touch a Truck, which is put on by the Simi Valley Police Foundation and in conjunction with the city. And it's right here in City Hall's parking lot. It's a great event. No, there's no fee, but we do ask that you bring a unwrapped toy for a donation if possible. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there on December 2nd. That's it for me, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Thursday, November 9th, I was supposed to attend the grand opening of 805 Tacos, but I couldn't make it that day. Something else had come up, so I just wanted to say congratulations to the new business in Simi Valley. On Saturday, November 11th, I too attended the Veterans Day ceremony over at the Rancho Tapo Park. And I can't say enough about the way the Park District put on that event. It was a great job. I want to thank the whole Park District, the board and their employees, because that was a great job. You know, they spared no expense. They did a great job putting it on. And I was so happy to see that we had a couple World War II veterans in the audience. It was very nice. That's the end of my report.
So mine's a very short list. I spent the last week getting ready for tomorrow's move of my business, which I completely forgot how stressful a move like that can be. But on Thursday, November 9th, I had a meeting with representatives from Shepherd of the Valley. You're probably familiar with their church just off the 118 in the San Fernando Valley. And they now have a church on Easy Street. And they wanted to come in and just introduce themselves, say they want to be an active part of the community. So for all those organizations in our town, they're anxious to participate. They have a large group of volunteers that are anxious to be, of service to the community. And they specifically mentioned our police department and our fire department. But really nice group of people, and I got to meet their minister, young gentleman who grew up through the church and really excited about it. And one of his things is he wants to get a youth group going with that church. Anyways, nice meeting, and that is all I have to report. So. Let's see here. I'm going to ask if we have any future agenda items. See none.
Do we need to, on the issue of the palm trees, need to, I would like to see what, if anything, the city can do about that or have a discussion about that.
Yeah, I was just, we can respond. I got forwarded the email. We're happy to respond to Ms. Meyer. And we can do what we can do as a PR campaign, put together a flyer and distribute it to, we can try and identify locations around town and just drop them with the homeowner and provide them information. I think that's probably a good path to go down.
All right. Then with that, I'm going to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Lexi King. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a good, nice evening.